Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Cuss me out? No dessert for you. This incident happened about 1.5 years ago. I used to work at a deli. I was in charge of the pastries and made desserts before the store opened. Every week, I was fussed out by this particular couple who would be so rude, ask for stuff, say you incorrectly placed their order was stored correctly in the system, eat half and say it was messed up. They often did this to me, my former managers, anybody who was in contact with them. My one dessert that I would make that would sell out very quickly would be my very berry shortcakes. You had the option of strawberry, mixed berry, and my daily special. The shortcakes included my homemade whipped cream and sauce. Well, due to a shortage, we were not able to get my ingredients for me to make a full batch. I had about 60 desserts I was able to make for that day. The couple from hell came in. Our deli line was divided into 2 lines. The couple from hell was in my coworker's line, and I was behind doing some decorating. Next thing that happened was a coworker asked me to step in while she had to hit the little girl's room while she was cramping. I said yes and took over and helped out with the orders until she came back. The couple from hell was up, and they blasted my coworker. She was fussed out, and then they started on me. I was told by them that I should be doing what I'm supposed to be doing and that I had no business doing front of the house. I have certifications on the register. On top of that, they chewed out the rest of us, told us it was a miracle that they came here because they gave us good business. They told me they would get me fired if I tried to handle cash again because pastry chefs are not servers. Not only insulting me, they cussed me out and called me all sorts of names. I was really over it. I was beyond irritated that once a week nobody did anything about how rude they were. Then I got an idea. During their lunch meal, they always asked for my triple berry shortcake. I was in the mood to be petty with this. While they were fussing out another coworker, I slipped a note to the coworker who was getting cussed out that I was all out of my dessert special and to just trust me. She took the grunt of their yelling crap storm, and I told her just to trust me. While the lunch rush was dying down, I noticed the couple sent their food back 3 times and was still complaining about the lack of shortcakes. I knew it was time to strike. I came out and told a few diners that were eating that I wanted to show gratitude to some of my favorite customers. I told my coworker that plan because the couple from hell put on this front and was telling other guests how nice I was, which was bullcrap because I'm sure other people saw this couple cuss me and all my other customers out. I used the rest of my shortcakes and made up something really special. I was using a framboise lambic for the sauce that day. I knew it was good, and I knew that the nice patrons would love it. Started near the couple and passed out the slices near them. I really wanted them to hear me talk about how great this new dessert special of mine was. Out of the corner of my eye, I heard one of them say that I was near and how they couldn't wait to try it. As I got to them, I was down to 2 slices. All my regulars had a slice, and so did the couple other people. My revenge was going to be set. I told my coworker to give the last 2 slices to her and the dishwasher because they dealt the brunt of the forces as employees and that they deserve something yummy. I noticed the couple from hell had this scowl like I didn't pick them for Duck Duck Goose. They were PO'd. How could they pass up a free yummy dessert special? They were a-holes, and anytime I was on dessert duty in the mornings when they worked, I purposely skipped them for my dessert special. During the holiday season, they would do some holiday orderings and refused any and all of their dessert orders. Now that's a scrumptious revenge. Revenge is best served no dessert. If they'd been polite and not kept returning their half-eaten dish, and then said that you messed it up when you didn't, then they would have gotten that dessert. And our second story. Entitled Old Lady Next Door Calls Cops on My Classic Car in My Driveway. So I'm in my house relaxing after my wound nurse had come today, and I hear my doorbell go off. So I go look at it on the phone, and it's a sheriff's officer. I tell them, just a second, grab my walker and start walking to the door. I open it and have this conversation. Sheriff, good afternoon, sir. We got a complaint that there's a derelict car parked in front of your house today, so we've come to check it out. The only car I see in front of your house, he motions to the street, is that white one there. Looks like it was recently driven. Me. Well, not too recently. I'm recovering from surgery, so it's not been driven for a little while. But it's not abandoned. Once I recover, I'll be using it again. Do you know what other vehicle there might have been in front of your house? I haven't seen any. The neighbors across the street have a white SUV, but as you can see, it's not there right now, and they use it all the time. I can't really see on the side of my house because there's no windows there, but it might have been there. I don't know. Do you have a description? The only thing I was told was it was a brown vehicle that was abandoned under a tarp. At this point, it dawns on me. He's talking about my 67 El Camino, which is not in running condition, but it's parked in my driveway. It's under a car cover, not a tarp, but sometimes the wind blows it off. Whenever I notice, I put it back on. Oh, they might be complaining about my El Camino in the driveway. I'd like to put it in my garage, but I have too much crap in there. But it's always under the car cover unless the wind blows it off, and it's never in the street. I saw that. But it's in your driveway and completely covered. Why would someone call to complain about it? I don't know, but that's the only thing I can think of. Let me investigate. I'll get back to you. So the sheriff leaves, and I see him walk past his vehicle into my neighbor's next door. I go back and sit down. About 10 or so minutes later, I hear the ring on my doorbell again and answer it. It's the sheriff. So I open the door again. Sorry to bother you again, but this has been cleared up. The complainant was talking about your El Camino. I informed them that it's on your property and that it's not violating any laws. I also informed them that it's under a car cover, not a tarp, and it's really none of their business what it's doing there on your property. There's no law in the county that you can't have a project car in your driveway. I'm guessing the person who complained was blank next door? I can't actually tell you who complained, but it sounds like you've had some issues with your next door neighbor in the past. And if this sounds like it'd be her, then the odds are you'd probably be correct. And he grinned at me. Hope you have a good evening. Thank you, sir. The funny thing about this is she can't even see the car from her house. It's not that tall, and the hedge she so loves is way above the car. The only way she can see it is if she walks in front of my house past the hedge. She's just way too much of a busybody, an annoying neighbor. This woman needs to find another hobby. She has way too much time on her hands. Birthday present to ex-wife. Gather round, boys and girls, because it's time for the story of my cheating ex-wife. So I had a feeling she was cheating as she set off a lot of red flags, constantly laughing and smiling when texting, saying it was just her mother when I asked, needing to stay late every night after work when I'd call in her coworker said she left hours ago. When I asked her what was going on, she'd laugh it off and say it was just something they did to each other at the office all the time. The last straw to where I knew something was definitely up was when she went out to get milk at 11:30 at night and didn't come back until 2 in the morning. Now, if there's any words of wisdom I can pass on to others in all my years of experience, if you think your significant other is cheating, hire a effing private investigator. They're GD good at what they do, and they will get some evidence that really helps in the later divorce. Fast track to her birthday, several months down the road. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why the hell did I wait months before I confronted her? And did it really need to be on her birthday? The answer to the first question is I wanted as much evidence as possible to hand off to my lawyer, as well as make arrangements to find a new place to live, etc. Answer to your second question is, of course, it had to be on her birthday. You see, after asking her what she wanted to do on her birthday this year, she said she rather insisted on me going out of town with my friends, as she just had to work anyways and didn't want to be reminded she was aging. So I know something is up, and after finding a bottle of champagne and 2 glasses hidden in my closet, something in me snaps. So I do what any sensible man would have done. I leave and go to my friend's house pretending like I'm going out of town. While there, I call up her mother, father, sister, and several of her friends. I tell them how I want to give her a big surprise by sneaking into her room with party streamers, kazoos, and a big cake with candles. Sounds fun, right? Well, boy, was it. It's 8:30 in the morning, and I have everyone meet just outside our apartment. We all pile in the elevator, about 8 of us in total, her mother holding the cake and me reminding everyone to be as quiet as they can be. I put my key in and unlock the door. We all sneak in and make our way down the hall towards the bedroom, each holding a kazoo and Mom holding the cake, grinning from ear to ear. Well, as I throw open the door and we all yell, "Surprise!" But the surprise was on us, as there was my wife with her lover staring at us wide-eyed mid-thrust. Mom drops the cake, sister screams, father begins to shout. I pretend like I'm horrified, to which her friends try to push everyone out while yelling at her. Ex-wife is sobbing and screaming, "How could I?" while the lover is desperately trying to put his pants on while running out of the place. Needless to say, it was one of the best birthday presents I've ever given. After so long of being betrayed, I was the one who got to have the last laugh. Plus, since I had hired the private investigator, I was able to prove she was using my money to pay for things for her lover, hotels, dinners, etc. So I did get some compensation for that. And our last story, in which our OP taught a couple of teenagers a lesson for stealing his gasoline and breaking into his property and ruining his Halloween decorations for fun. My neighbor had two entitled teenagers that liked to steal or destroy my property. This happened in the early 2000s. I was living the single mom life with my 3 older kids. I was working full-time evening shift, and my best friend would keep the kids for me. It was early fall and still mowing weather. I'd always fill my lawnmower up, and I kept a 3-gallon gas can full under my porch. My neighbor has 2 teens, a boy and a girl, that like to bully the smaller kids in my neighborhood. I chase them out of my yard a few times when I catch them trying to get into my storage shed. Their dad had traded for them a 4-wheeler, and they'd constantly be on it. After they got it, my gas can would mysteriously go empty every time I wanted to refuel. It didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what was happening to it. Well, enough was enough. I went out and purchased an identical gas can, filled it with about 2.5 gallons of water, then added a half a gallon of gas. To give it the fuel smell still. I locked the real one in my back porch, put the bogus can under my porch, then waited with a couple of days. The little brats were throwing a massive fit because their 4-wheeler was toast. Yeah, sucks to be them. As I said, these little monsters enjoyed destroying other people's property. One of their favorite pastimes was tearing up Halloween decorations and smashing pumpkins. That year, I bought close to 20 pumpkins that would only get smashed on the street in front of my house. My kids were devastated. They also loved tearing up the stuffed scarecrow on the next-door neighbor's porch. I managed to get together some old worn overalls, a straw hat, and a ratty-looking long-sleeve button-up shirt. I stuffed it and sat out on my porch on Halloween night. I had asked my bestie to take my kids trick-or-treating because I had a treat for the teen monsters and their friends. I waited till dark, shut off the porch light, and brought in the scarecrow, put on some clothes and hat, painted my face, and went back outside in a chair with a huge bowl of candy and a sign saying, "Take one, please." My best friend waited till I was settled, turned the porch light off, and left with my kids. I had a few little Supermans, princesses, ghosts, and clowns come up, and yeah, they grabbed more than one, but not overly much. About half hour into my evening, I heard the brats coming up the road. They immediately started smashing the pumpkins and yanking down decorations. 3 of them run up onto my porch, one grabbing the bowl as the other 2 went to grab the poor scarecrow. Only Scarecrow, me, suddenly sat up with the deepest, harshest, loudest growl and grabbed one of the boys closest to me. I've never seen people actually fly before, but they were screaming like nobody's business running down the street. A cop pulls up less than a minute later, said he's been getting complaints about these kids and was trying to catch them in the act, but he'd seen the entire exchange on my porch and couldn't quit laughing. I didn't have much problem after that. I kind of let it slip that my house was haunted, though. They moved within the next month or so after the boy got arrested for breaking into someone's house up the street. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.